Well, a lot of people in the viewing audience may or may not know what this thing is. If you're around my age, you probably know what it is. If you're not around my age or just simply don't know, I'm going to explain it to you. This is called a digital TV converter box. Now, back then, this doesn't apply to me at all because when I was born, this was starting to be phased out with cable. But back around the times my dad was a little kid, in the 1970s, and of course, kids in the 60s and even the 50s. Back in the 50s, TV started to come into homes. And they came in black and white, they came in color, and the way you would get signal is you would have bunny ear antennas. Nowadays, they have a lot of different other antennas, a lot of different styles. For example, the Snowflake, which is what my dad has downstairs. I have what I would call the Bullet. I don't know what it's really called, but you would have this connection right here, and you would screw it in to your TV. And, it was pretty common for a long time. Until probably the 1990s, cable started to become a thing, and you would get more channels. Now, I get plenty of channels. I live in California, and I get plenty of channels. But it depends on where you're from and what area you're in. Now, cable would give you premium channels. Now, I used to have cable. Cable sucked. It cost too much fucking money. We got rid of it. But back then, it was like a luxury, bro. So, every antenna back then, it was all analog signals. All standard def. What else is there? And it was that way for a really long time. Up until about 2009. In 2009, everything was going digital. The TV signals were switching to digital. Now, if you had a TV like that, or like that, you'd be fine. But if you had an old CRT TV, like I've got in one of those drawers over there, you needed one of these. Which this pretty much just converts your digital signal back to analog. You could hook it up with a coax, which is probably what I'm going to do, or you can hook it up with AV, which would produce a better quality picture. So, anyway, like I said, you take this connection and you screw it into your TV. Now, I'm going to demonstrate that for you. Now, if you have a TV like this, it should be pretty easy. Or like this. Yeah, this should be pretty easy. Here's what you do first. Shit. Here is the first step. Alright, so the first thing you do is you flip your TV over like this. Onto the back side. Or however the hell you have your antenna. This port right here is what we're going to be using today. Let's see if I can set you guys up here so you guys can see what the... Dang it. Okay, so that's a good position. Now, I'm going to take this end right here. Shit. Take this end and screw this in. Now, if this is brand new to you, you're going to want to do a channel auto scan. That's not going to be able to apply to me because I already have this TV program to accept channels. But if this is new to you, you're going to have to do an auto scan, which is in your TV settings. It'll scan for channels over the air and hopefully get you some TV to watch. Now, it's also important to know that you're going to need a window for this to work. If you have closed curtains like me, you're going to want to stick it on the outside of the curtains, where the window is. Because if you try to do it behind closed curtains, it's not going to work. You're just going to get nothing. So you just screw this in, which, by the way, it takes forever. Alright, I think I got it in. Alright, so now the next step is this. So your next step is just to set your TV back to how it was. Or if you have a TV like that, just screw it in, and, it's already set. So, anyway, I don't have a stand on mine. Well, I do. But it's not, like, attached to the wall or anything. So, if yours is attached to the wall, don't remove your TV off the wall. Unless you think it will make it easier. So, anyway, you set it up like this. Or whatever surface you have. This is my nightstand. I'm going to turn this on. Now, by the way, I don't think you really need a remote, but I have a remote program, so I'm going to use it. So, what this does, now I don't know how to change the input with this remote, so I'm just going to do it manually. So you go to your TV input, or your antenna input, depending on what TV you have. If you do an auto scan, you'll already have channels. Now, you see, this is playing on TV. This is live. Now you can switch between channels. And you get, it's pretty much like cable, but free. And limited channels. Sometimes they take a minute to come on. But you see, I don't think that one wants to come on. Nor does that one want to come on. Oh, wait, nope, never mind. And I'm not paying anything for this. This is literally free. Anybody can get one of these. You pay... It depends on where you get it from. You could get a brand new one from Target for like 18 bucks. See, free TV, right? You have all these different channels. A lot of different channels. Anyway. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? I think it's pretty cool. I do like having free TV. Sometimes I'm playing my video game and I'll turn this on just for the fun of it. And that's all fun and games. But what about when you're not so lucky and you have one of these TVs? These old cathode ray tube TVs. Well, the problem is that you wouldn't be able to hook your little antenna up. Oh, hang on, cable flew way the fuck down here. So you wouldn't be able to hook this thing up, right? Well, I'm going to show you what happens when you do hook it up. So, it's the same thing as before. The coax slot is on the back here. On top of a totally not fire hazard. So, that's the coax slot right there. And you do essentially the same thing. But this is what happens when you hook it up. So now I have it hooked up in the back. So you see? Now this is what happens when you turn it on. And this is going to be so loud. So, this is exactly what happens when you try to hook it up. Channel 7, channel 8, you see, nothing. Nothing. All you get is static. It's just white fucking noise, right? Nothing. You see, all static. It's not doing shit. You see? Now, I'm going to scroll all the way back. I have to go all the way back. I'll go to channel 4. So, not working, right? Well, that's where this box comes in handy. This is a converter box. Now, I'm going to hook this thing up, which is essentially the same process depending on what you're doing. If you're using AV, you plug it into the AV slots. In the coax slot, you plug it back in. And, of course, use that cable. Now, I'm going to hook this up real quick. I'll see you guys in a sec. Okay, now I have this thing hooked up. So you see, right here, that is where, this is the TV. It hooks up to the TV back here. This is to my antenna, which is in my window. Yes, I know it's covered up, but it's on the outside of these curtains. So anyway, box is hooked up. Now let's turn this TV on. I turned on the box already. You just press the button. And this is what happens when you hook it up to one of these things. That's a bad signal. There you go. It's now working. Oh, I like this show right here. I like this program, Dabble. Now you see, this is how you would watch TV nowadays with an antenna. That's pretty fancy, isn't it? Now, not a lot of people have these TVs anymore, and I realize that. If anything, a lot of people have flat screens, even if you're old as freak. Like, if you're like my grandpa's age. Even he has a flat screen. But, yeah, I just thought I'd show you guys that. It was a pretty fun video to make. turn that back on just for fun. Hopefully the copyright police don't get me for showing this.
And a teammate like Granger that she can rely on.
Oh, shit. By the way, these buttons don't work. This is when you press this button to go into channel 3, that's what it does. It only works in channel 4. So anyway, that is what a digital TV converter does. That was pretty fun to make, actually. I really do like this thing. Even though I have flat screens, makes my old TV here work. Anyway, well, I guess that's a quick video for you guys, even though it's like 11 minutes long, but who cares? Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you thought of that. And thank you for sticking with me. I know I don't upload a lot. So comment, like, subscribe, and share, and I'm going to get out of here. Peace!